4.7 linear systems. We're solving linear systems using matrices. If you look at the board, we have solving linear systems using equation matrices again and again and again, and then you have a quest on Friday. Okay, so a quest is a quiz test. Instead of 100, it's worth 50. And we're going to remember when we were working with the 3 equations and we were doing those row operations, we are going to clean that up and work on that for 4 days. And I think you'll be ready for a quest after that. And if we're not, we'll go from there. But if you do your work, I promise you'll be ready. If you don't do your work, guess what? You won't be ready. Okay, so maybe. There we go. So first of all, a matrix is an array of numbers. All it is numbers in columns and rows. All it is. Okay. This rows go this way. Columns go this way. People struggle with that sometimes. Just think about it. You can't have a column. You can't have a column without a row. Correct? And this one has 2 rows by 2 columns, and this one has 3 rows by 2 columns. It is always row by column. Dimensions, they call them dimensions, order, size. Those are all 3 things that you can call them. That's a matrix. Okay, guess what a coefficient matrix is full of? Coefficients. So if I give you this, just write down this one. Don't do the A, B, C's, and F's. Okay, if I give you this system, 2x plus 3y equals 1, and 4x minus 2y equals 10. If you put them into a coefficient matrix, you just put the coefficients there. So you have 2, 3, 4, negative 2. In the first column, they're all are x's. In the second column, they all are y's. If you had another one, it'd be all z's. The whole column is the same variable.
Are those brackets or just straight lines?
What?
Are those brackets or just straight lines?
Brackets. They got little. Now an augmented matrix. An augmented matrix consists of a coefficient matrix along with the constants or answers. So if we look at this system up here and come down here, do you see the coefficients on the left?
Yeah. Yes.
And the answers on the right? 110. And what do you think these little dashes are for? The equal. It augments it. It's putting those 2 together. You can have a coefficient matrix and you can have a solution matrix or a constant matrix, whatever you want to say. But augmented is just to put them together. Again, we have an X column and a Y column and an answer column. Or an equals or whatever you want to call it. What else was I going to tell you about it? I don't know. You do need to have them in order, just like before. You need to have them in X, Y, Z, whatever order. They should be in alphabetical order, just like any other variables. Should be when you write them out, correct? Hopefully you are not writing too much information now. The dimensions, again, it just talks about the dimensions are rows by columns. This matrix is 2 rows, 3 columns, so it is a 2 by 3. That I would not be writing this. I would not be writing this.
No,
I would not be writing this.
just the words.
Coefficient matrix is full of coefficients. That's all it is. Don't write too many words. Don't write. You get what I'm saying? Like, write the words that you need, because we don't always need all of them. And that's the art of writing notes, and hopefully you guys will get better at that as we go through the year, where you're writing what you need, not every single word. Because if you're going to write every single word, you might as well just copy out the book, right? Like, print out the book. And this is supposed to be shorter. These are supposed to be more direct.
It's not dotted line.
It just is the dotted line symbolizing the equals.
Okay.
In some computer programs, they will have 2. Some will have 3 because 2 is a ratio. So people don't like 2 because it's a ratio, right? But I will take 2 dots. I just do a dotted line. Why won't I take 1? Definitely not. That's multiplication. Like I said, most computer programs, if they're putting dots, like specifically, it's 2, 3. Because, again, 2 is ratios. Like, it'd be a 3 to 7 ratio. And that's weird.
Do we need that part about the dimensions?
As long as you know that it's row by column. Because we will multiply them later on in the book, and that's important to know how to identify its size.
So how do they change? Like, how do they go from 2, 4 to 3, -2?
I just took out the variables. Because this column is all X's, this
Okay.
column is all Y's. I just got rid of the redundancy, the unnecessary stuff that you don't need.
So why is that there? What's, oh, that's the color.
Okay, I'm good?
I'm over.
What is the 3, 7?
That was just examples on the, like, you could just put dots, or you could put 2 dots, or 3 dots, or,
To show the difference between your coefficients and answers.
yeah. Okay, so write an augmented matrix. Okay, so I'm going to put coefficients on the left, answers on the right. So I like to go columns because they should be lined up, but it doesn't matter. Could I go rows?
Yes.
So I have 3, 4. Oh, wait, I can't do this yet. Why not?
Because 3 is and
Is your
3 is
variable
y
there?
and 4 is x.
So I have to do what first?
Rewrite it.
I have to rewrite it, or I don't have to rewrite it, but I at least have to think about it being rewritten.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay. So what I really have is, let's see, you got to add the 2 over, right? So 2x plus 3y equals 1.
Actually, wouldn't it be -2?
No,
No.
when you go
because
to
you're
the
adding.
side
Oh,
changes.
yeah.
And 4x minus 2y equals 10. So now am I ready to put it in the matrix?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
So why'd you have to switch the equation like that?
Because it has to be x, y answers. It has to be in alphabetical order because that's how we write our equations, right? If nothing else, they have to line up. Like, I guess you could put y, x, but that would be weird.
okay, I have it.
Okay, so you should have 2, 4, 3, -2, 1, 10.
Yes.
Now, got that?
See.
Okay,
Oh, the next one.
now the next one.
It's just a bigger augment.
It's just bigger. That's it. We got x, y, and what now? Z. Is it in the right order?
Yes.
Yes.
So what do I got? Column, first column.
First column is
1,
1,
1,
2.
2,
2.
2, -1, 1.
0.
0. Good job. Placeholders.
3, -4.
And then 2, 5.
Okay, so.
So the next one I have, I want to go to from an augmented matrix to a system of equations. So what is my first column all of? X, and then Y, Z, and answers. So it's going to be what?
0.
2y
plus
Z. Z equals 4.
8.
8x.
No, minus 2, minus 1y, minus 2z. 5.
Now you don't have to worry about knowing if it's a 2 or a Z, right?
True.
And your last one?
Is 2x minus
Plus 1.
plus
Plus C.
Plus 1.
equals
equals
9.
I think that's easy, huh?
That's pretty simple.
Yeah,
It's
but-
gonna get harder.
We're not doing any of that. So you're gonna put it in augmented matrix so you can solve it. That's all you're doing today. So I mean, this is just to get you there. Are we good?
No, not yet.
Good? Okay, so we have done this. Please do not write this all down. If you want to write this all down, you need to go back tonight and write it down. I'm not going to wait. We don't have time to wait for this. Okay, we have done row operations before, correct? We've switched rows before?
Yes.
Yes. We've multiplied a row by a non-zero constant before? Yes. Like 2R1 plus R3, we did that, right? And then these two we've done together. That would be like 2R1 plus R2. Okay, so we've done all that. Now our goal this time is we're going to put this in reduced row echelon form. Reduce, you do need to put this bottom one. Reduced row echelon form. Right there. Oh, it's right here too. Okay, reduced row echelon form looks like this. Now, what is awesome about reduced row echelon form, if you look at it, all I have in the coefficient matrix when I'm done are what? Ones and zeros. So x is -4, y is 2, and z is 7. We're done.
That's it.
Yeah, but we gotta get there.
How do you get
little.
Okay,
never
So
mind.
once
thought
I
you
got it
spelled all.
into reduced row echelon form, right here, I just have my answers. I do not care what your directions say for the entire week. You are to put it all in, every single one of them, into what form? Reduced row echelon form. I do not care what the directions say. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
So, when we did this before, we zeroed out column 1, right? Then we zeroed out column 2. Now we're going to go back up and zero out column 3, and then back to 2. That's 2. So we're going to go this big circle. So this was a 3 by 3, so that was 3 equations, right? So a 2 would look like 1, 0, 0, 1, and then some answers. Correct? Today, all you're doing is a 2 by 2. That's all you're doing. Tomorrow, we're going to do a 3 by 3. Okay? So, no matter what the instructions say, what are we putting it in?
Reduced
echelon
form.
Reduced row echelon form.
No one form.
Now, you notice that these are ones. If you get zeros everywhere and you don't have ones, guess what? You're not done. You have to multiply by that fraction, don't you? You have to do that final step. But if you do it at the end, you're done. You don't have to work with the fractions other than making them fractions, right? So we're not going to make it, we're not going to reduce it to 1 unless everything in the row is divisible by that until the very end. We're not going to work with those fractions if we don't have to. Well, I'm not at least. Go for it. Have fun. Okay, you good?
Just about.
So again, I'm recording, so this is all up there. This is in your book. Also, this is right before the questions start, the exercises start. This whole chart is in there too. Okay, so solve using matrices and row operations. We are going to put it in reduced row echelon form. So it's going to look like 1, 0, 0, 1, and some answers when we're done. That's what we're doing. So I have 3x minus 2y equals 25, and 2x plus 4y equals 4.
Do we want to start at the top?
2x plus
you probably have 4 or 5 steps. So I would again, if you're like, I would start at the top. I would not start there. If you don't have 3/4 of a page, I would start at the top. And remember, we're going to do columns again. So the first thing I need to do is write this in an augmented matrix. So, before, if you want to do it, do you want to switch any row around? You want to leave it the way it is?
That looks good.
Looks good? Okay. So then we're going to have 3, 2, -2, 5, 25, 4. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be a little stickler on this, guys. All these lines right here will need to line up. I don't want it all over the place. It needs to be nice and pretty. Those augmented lines, I judge it by that. Are those lined up? Okay. So remember, I need to get rid of this 2. Now, if I could multiply one of the rows by a fraction, make the number smaller, I'd do that or whatever. Okay. So if I need that 2 to be 0, what do I have to do to the?
Two.
Multiply it by 2. Add
2R1
I keep-
plus 3R2.
Okay, I need to get both of them to be their least common multiple, which is what? 6. I could add the 2 rows, but that wouldn't give me to 0. That would give me, or subtract the 2 rows. It wouldn't give me to 0. It'd get me to 1. Correct? But I can't just add 6 to it, or I can't do things like that. That wasn't in my row operations. So we're gonna take -2R1. Why do I have to have a negative in there?
Oh, because they have to can't. Yeah.
Right, then one has to be positive, one has to be negative. So I'm not doing anything to the first row, and here's a special hint. If I've got to line these things up, guess what? Write the dots first. I'm not doing anything to row 1, so just rewrite it.
Hang on.
And this is why when the book said equation 1, I just said row 1, because what did we make them into? Rows. There was no point in doing one thing and then switching. Okay, so now I've got to take -2 times 3 is -6. 3 times 2 is 6. So -6 and 6 is what?
0.
0. So -2 times -2 is what? 4. 3 times 5 is?
15.
So 4 and 15,
19.
19. If you need to write work out on the side, can you write work out on the
Yes.
side? Yes. -2, so then I get -50, right?
Yeah.
And then 12. So you get,
-48.
how about 38?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, -38. So I have my 0, I'm good there, yes? Okay, now I need to get another 0, and it is in the second column, so I would need to use the second row, correct? Now, I can multiply the first row by 19 and the second by 2 and do it that way, but it'd be really nice if 19 maybe went into 38. Nice. Does it?
Well, good thing it does.
It does. How many times?
Twice.
Twice. So I can take 1/9 of that row 2 and get a nice 1, can't I?
Yeah.
If I don't get a nice whole number, do I want to be doing this right now?
No.
No. I just work with the bigger numbers. Do not give yourself fractions, guys. I don't think you want to work with 38/19 if it didn't reduce. Do you?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to take 1/19 of R2. Remember, I'm writing it right next to R2. Rewriting row 1 because I'm not changing it. And 0 divided by 19 is 0, right? 19 times 1/19 is 1. And then 38 times 1/19 is -2. Again, we only did that because they went nice and evenly in there. If it didn't go nice and evenly, I would just deal with my bigger numbers. Okay, so now I need to get this -2 to be 0. What do I need to do to this 1 to get that to be 0?
Multiply by +2.
Okay, so 2R1 2R2, excuse me, plus 2R1. So 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 is? 3.
Why would it be 2 R2?
Because if it's in column 2, I need to be using row 2. Okay, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 and negative 2 is? 0. 2 times negative 2 is? Negative 4. Negative 4 and 25 is? 21. And I didn't do anything. Now, do I have my zeros? What's the last thing I need to take care of? The 3. So how am I going to take care of the 3?
7.
Divide R1 by, or take R1 times 1 over 3.
1/3. 1/3 R1. And if it was a negative 3, it'd be a negative 1/3, right? Okay, because it needs to be positive. So 1, 0, 7. And 0, 1, negative 2. Is it in reduced row echelon form?
Looks like it.
Yes.
And so what is x? 7. What is y? So 7, negative 2.
Yeah. That wasn't that bad actually.
Well, yeah, because all the numbers were nice.
I prefer this better than
No,
the-
wait till-
Cause you're.
Now wait till we get to
I
the
can't read it
book
from
and the
here, but
numbers will be
Does that
nine.
say 2R1 plus R1?
2R2.
Okay.
Most
I'm skinny because I needs to try to fit it all
Yeah.
in there. I'm sorry. Okay, so that nice orderly procedure that we can do, and we're just gonna work down on them. Okay, so let's do another one.
Okay.
Okay, so 3x minus 4y equals negative 18. Negative 4x plus 8y equals 32.
We don't need to move anything around.
You don't want to move the thing around?
Nope.
When you get really good at this, you do like a bunch of fancy stuff, but you guys aren't really good at it yet. So.
I mean, at least we did that.
Well, I hate it when you look at the books because they do it like somebody who's
Okay,
been
so
doing
they're
it
not-
for the last 30 years. And I'm like, that's not how you do it yet. You're not ready to do all that
Weird stuff.
acrobats with it. Okay, so I need to get this negative 4 to be 0, yes?
Yeah.
Oh, is there something you'd like to do before?
Can we go?
Can we reduce the 4, 8, and 32?
Yeah, 4, 8, and 32 can all be
Like
reduced.
negative 1, then,
So when you're talking about 1/4
yeah.
R2? I mean, there's nothing, you could do 3 and 4, multiply both rows, right? But this will make it easier.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3, negative 4. I always look to reduce. Negative 18.
Mhm.
And so then I get negative 1, 2, and 8.
Yes.
Okay, so that might be a little easier to get rid of the.
So
The
now
one.
should we change R1 and R2?
You could,
'Cause of the
or you
difference.
could just multiply R2 by 3. You guys decide.
Let's just multiply R2 by 3.
Okay,
What are you
So-
doing?
she's saying we could switch R1 and R2. And we could,
Because then we
but
have a leading coefficient of 1. I guess that's really when you have.
when you only, if I had 3 of them, I would definitely do that. But where we only have 2, I'd probably just suck it up and do it. Okay, so we're going to do R1 plus 3R2. So R1's going to stay. Okay, so 3 times negative 1 is 3. Negative 3. Negative 3 and 3 is 0. Now, 3 and 2 is 6. 6 minus 4,
2.
Nope.
Oh, 2.
2. And then what? 24? And 18?
24 minus 18.
Mm-hmm.
6.
How about Positive 6?
That's six.
To me, I wouldn't want to add the step of switching it. Suck it up.
Okay, and then could you divide by 1/2?
Yep, you guys want to multiply by 1/2.
Multiply.
Everyone want to multiply row 2 by 1/2?
Yes.
Okay, because it's going to have to be a 1 anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I have people that will want to take 1/3 of R1 right now. What would be the downside of taking 1/3 of R1?
You have negative
-4.
4.
Then you have negative 4/3, and I don't want to work with that, do you?
No.
If you don't like fractions, avoid them. So you have to.
Pretty much.
Okay. So now I need to get rid of this 4, and what column is that 4 in? It's in column 2, so I'm going to use row 2, yes?
Yeah.
So what am I going to do to row 2?
You take row 2 times 4.
So 4R2
Add R1.
plus R1.
Yeah.
So 0 and 4, 0 times 4 is 0. 3, so it's 3. And then 4 and negative 4 is 0. And if it doesn't zero out, why are you doing what you're doing, right?
Uh-huh.
And then 4 times 3 is
12.
12. And negative 18 is
Negative 6.
negative 6. And 0, 1, 3. And are we in reduced row echelon form yet?
No.
No. So hopefully you're still going down on your paper.
Nah.
What do I need to do to row 1?
Take it times
Take
1/3.
1/3.
So 1/3 R1. So we have 1, 0, negative 2, and 0, 1, 3. So X is what?
Negative 2,
And Y is?
3.
So on your test, you had to decide whether you're going to do substitution or elimination, right?
Yes.
I don't have to decide anything here. I just go.
So do you always want to start with the, like the -4? Do you
Always you always want to move across in that circle. Column 1, column 2, column 3, column 3, column 2. Always in that big circle. Because if you don't, and I've had kids that are like, oh, I want to do this one because they match up. Well, you can zero out something, but when you go, like if I zero out a Y before I zero out an X, when I go to zero out the X later on, I usually add back in a Y. So I've just undone what I did. So if you always go in that X, Y, Z, Y order, you won't be putting stuff back. And I don't want to do any more work than I have to, and I know you guys don't, because I've seen homework grades.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have solving again. And no matter what they say, I'm going to put it in what form? Reduced row echelon form, RREF.
The one.
And what does it look like? What does it look like?
1001 dash.
1. Oop. And some answers, right? Okay. So,
That 1 point.
do you guys want to do anything before I write this down?
Yes.
Yes.
I see that you
You
want
wanna
to.
Divide by
divide.
3.
I don't.
Well, I suppose.
Divide by
You don't want to divide by
Well, you
3?
could switch the
Good.
rows.
We could. Okay, you want to take 1/3 R1 or switch rows?
Switch rows.
1/3 or
Well, then we have to make. How do we make up the Y?
one. I would
If
do
we
a
want to be a
Y.
Y.
Exactly. So it's already
Let's try the. But if I take 1/3 R1, Y is already 0, right?
Yeah.
So it could save me some time,
Yeah.
Plus then you already have 2 1x.
right?
Both your x will be 1s. And then
So-
1 7 will be 9.
Okay, so 1/3 R1. So that's 1, 0, 9. And 1, -6, 39. Sometimes your first step can really make the problem easy, or it can really make the problem hard. When you do anything, I will ask you why. If you don't have a good reason, don't do it. Got it? Sometimes the good reason is those numbers are smaller and I'd rather work with those smaller numbers. I'm okay with that. But give me a reason. Don't just say,
So now we're trying to take away.
Okay, so now I need this right here, first column, right?
Oh yeah.
So what am I going to use to get rid of this one?
Row 1.
row 1. So negative R1 plus R2. Okay, so negative 1 and 1 is, oh, forgot to rewrite my row 1, right? Okay, so negative 1 and 1 is 0. 0, negative 6 is negative 6. The negative went on row 1, not row 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it would be negative.
And then negative 9 and 39 is
30.
30. Now what?
Take R2 divided by positive 1/6. What would it be positive or well, times?
Times 1/6, but is it positive or negative?
Negative.
Why is it going to be negative?
Because you want to get
I
your.
want to get rid of it.
Two negative before.
2 negatives make a positive.
So.
So 1, 0. And I'm going to tell you guys, you made this really easy. Fifth hour made this like 6 steps.
Yeah, but we're geniuses.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, what's X?
9,
9, and what's Y?
-5.
So again, the first step could help me out if I really am conscientious about what, is there something I can do?
See, I just thought we could divide it by half.
I used to be able to spell
It's
content.
right there.
Right.
So-
Right. Now I could have switched it and that wouldn't have been wrong. I just could have switched it.
That's it.
We got one more. And I am going to tell you, sometimes with a system of 3 equations, my first step is like 1/2 this row, 1/3 this row, 1/6 this row, because I see it all can be reduced. And working with smaller numbers, are we going to make less mistakes?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, there's times where I'm like 1/3 R1 and switch row 1 and row 2. Okay, but that's probably not you this year, that'll be you next year when you're like a pro at it. Okay, this year you're going to be like, we're going to do it next year too.
No, you think we're gonna be pros by next year?
Yeah. Okay.
No, I was fine.
Oh no.
Just write the problem down so you can quit whining.
No one saw it until I said something.
Yeah,
Hey.
sure.
You guys didn't realize
There
it
is
was
something we
fractions.
could do to both of these. If we don't like fractions, we need to learn how to get rid of them.
Multiply by 2.
I can multiply row 1 by 2, can't I?
Yes.
And you can take the other row by -4.
I'm not going to do -4
Why? +4.
because I need one positive and one negative, don't I?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So, and if I did negative, then I'd have to do a negative when I did my next
I
step.
just want to make mistakes, man.
Oh, you do that.
Well, I was trying to.
Okay, then you do -4.
Well, now I'm not going to. Jeez.
You said something.
You are a mistake.
Hey, that's rude.
How rude.
Most people are, honestly.
They are?
Oh, we're just going to let her say that? Okay.
She's called us all mistakes, guys.
I mean, I was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, I was only playing one.
I was.
I was.
Okay, we're not. Shh.
I was a mistake.
I'm sure you were.
Okay, not mistakes. Well, not mistakes.
Happy
Still
mistakes.
alive.
Accidents.
Happy
We're
little
happy
accidents.
accidents.
Okay,
Happy mistakes.
so by doing that, we gave ourselves ones. We got rid of our fractions. It doesn't mean that fractions aren't going to come back at the end, does it?
Well, why don't
But did I get rid of them right at this point?
Yeah.
Okay, so now what? What do we need to get rid of?
R1 plus R2.
This -1. So R1 plus R2?
Yeah. Would it be negative?
Nope, because one's negative, one's positive. That's why when Kale wanted to do a negative, I said, no, let's leave it that way.
But I'm not gonna do that.
You're not going to do that. You're going to do it the hard way. Okay, did you guys get -6, -12?
I
do
Now.
Okay, now what?
you can multiply
Can
the
we
bottom
take
row?
R2 negative divided by
Multiplied by
multiplied by pod negative 1/6.
whichever, positive or negative? Negative?
Yeah.
Because at this point, we want it in the form we want to leave it for the whole time, right? We don't want to have to do this again. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 8, 0, 1, 2.
Yeah.
You guys check my work.
That's what I was thinking.
I usually say you do it, I'll do it, we better get the same
No,
answer, right?
not no more.
Okay,
Now we gotta
so
get
we
rid of
have
that
ones
two.
and zeros, we need to get rid of the
Two.
two.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take negative 1/2 R1.
No.
Or negative
No.
R2.
Okay, wait, Ethan just said 1/2 R1. If you do 1/2 R1, you have 1/2 put in your R1. You want 1/2?
No, you just went back to the beginning.
No. If it is in column 2, what are you using?
Row 2.
Row 2. So negative 2 R2 plus R1. Because 0 times anything is 0 and it's easy to play with.
So it's 1,
So it's 1, 0, 4.
4, yeah.
So look at that.
So do you get 4 2?
I do now.
Well, you better have first place.
She will kill you.
No,
Okay,
probably
this-
not.
This makes it a lot easier.
Okay,
Yeah, she
it
can't legally
declutters it,
Without
correct?
consent.
It gets rid of all that redundant writing X 5,000 times and Y and worried about your Z. Is it a 2 or is it a Z?
See,
Yeah.
I
So-
think the reason I
Everything's
had
so much
trouble
more-
with
No, my
the
2s and Z's still look the same.
top part
Mm-hmm.
is because
I think this cleans it up so much. It's nice. You can actually see what's going on.
and you can actually.
Okay. So today, all you are doing are 2 by 2s. If you want to venture on, if you know that you're going to be busy tonight, let me try a 3 by 3. Go for it. Am I going to do it any differently?
No.
No, you've done the process with 3 by 3s already. I just wanted to do with some 2 by 2s today.
Yeah, but I'm bad.
Okay, so that's all I got for notes today. So you can get started.
That's it?
Wow.
This is the first time.
Can you put it back to the
Hey,